So, this is probably one of the dumbest Wheel of Fortune moments, like ever, right? Now, that's easy to say, like sitting back at home, right? But the reality of the situation, a lot of people might say they might be able to solve this at home, but if you were to actually be there with the pressure of being timed, basically, and also having to answer this thing, you are probably also going to make a mistake, or you're just going to get it, right? But nobody really knows the pressure of answering a question until you're actually there. So I would prefer to give people the benefit of the doubt. That being said, this is a pretty simple and easy phrase to solve, right? So for those that are listening to this, apparently the Wheel of Fortune contestants spent a very long time, some of them basically losing all of their chances of making money by not being able to solve this phrase, another feather space blank n space yo blank r space blank ap, right? Like they could not solve that. And for the majority of people that might stumble upon this, everyone's going to be like, oh, this is just another feather in your cap, right? It looks very simple. But again, giving people the benefit of the doubt, maybe they just can't really handle pressure well, right? So let's get into the story. So, continuing a long series of controversial on air moments, Tuesday's night's Wheel of Fortune episode has social media watchdogs barking about the show's dumbest moment ever. However, longtime show host Pat Sajak has since taken issue with vitriol that has been aimed at contestants tweeting that it's okay to laugh, but also telling haters to cut them some slack and have a little heart. The frustrating episode featured three contestants taking a whopping 8 turns and 10 attempts to solve the puzzle, like another feather, blank N, yo blank R blank A blank, right? So while the correct answer was simply another feather in your cap, the players took several tries to get there and it left viewers very frustrated. Possibly bad game player Laura Machado had three guesses to win as host Pat Sajak, and legendary letter turner Vanna White looked on. However, Machado's maddening wrong answers included another feather in your hat, another feather in your lap, and another feather in your map. Meanwhile, fellow contestant Christopher Coleman didn't guess any of the correct letters and landed on bankrupt when he twirled TV's most infamous wheel. Thomas Lipscomb also scored a bankrupt and lose a turn for his first 2 times in the hot seat, but on his third try he guessed C and correctly solved the phrase. Of course, Twitter has its thoughts with fans and viewers venting their vexation over the game into the digital abyss. Hey, if you feel like screaming at the TV in agony and want to throw something at your screen, round two of tonight's Wheel of Fortune is perfect for you, one outraged viewer griped on Twitter. Frozen actor Josh Gad also gave his 2 cents, tweeting, God help us all. So let's actually just like give this like a little look, right? Hold on. Go right here. Start. G, G, G. Why the hell would Like people are getting so frustrated. Like someone guessed a G, someone guessed a D for this phrase. Why? Why would you ever guess those letters? Wow, lose a turn. Okay. Okay, so that's where the P for the cap is. Okay. In your map. Dear Lord. Got a bankrupt. Oh my god. Woo! Finally got it. Okay. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense to me. Like actually like looking at this, like watching this clip, it's actually very frustrating. Like, okay, I can kind of see people being super frustrated. I can see someone probably eating like a bag of Doritos watching this live and be like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you guessing those? Because I mean, the G and D made no sense at all. To guess those letters made no sense. But again, giving the people the benefit of the doubt, perhaps they were just super stressful, you know? So let's continue. So I'd like to solve another feather in everything but your cap. Thank you, Will, for not editing out 6 of these 8 lost turns in a row like you normally would. Hashtag Wheel Fortune someone chimed in. One even suggested that the game should have ended this Wheel of Fortune episode with no winner. Tonight's Wheel of Fortune, I can't. That round was brutal, another added, alongside a meme of Jesus talking on the phone with the hilarious subtext, Start the Rapture. The dumbest 2 minutes in Wheel of Fortune history, a fan simply stated. So, a woman on Wheel of Fortune got this puzzle wrong 3 times. I'm yelling at the television like I'm watching a football game, someone quipped, with another saying they were in utter disbelief about the turn of events. But in a Twitter thread Wednesday, host Sajak came to the defense of the befuddled and apparently stressed players. He suggested he knew in real time what was happening during the incredible episode. The first attempt to solve was feather in your hat, which, by the way, is how a lot of people say it, he wrote. So all 3 players thought it was a good solve, and were stunned when I said it was wrong. Now imagine you're on national TV, and you're suddenly thrown a curve, and you begin getting worried about looking stupid, and if the feather isn't in your hat, where the heck can it be? You start flailing away, looking for alternatives rather than synonyms for hat. He continued in his analysis of what went down. So Jack alluded to contestants' seeming embarrassment once the puzzle answer was revealed, suggesting they'd want to crawl in a hole and saying that he felt it was his role to avoid chastising the players. Truth is, all I want to do is help to get them through it and convince them that those things happen even to very bright people, he said. From there, he suggested that haters back off, but mocking them online and calling them names, these are good people in a bad situation under a kind of stress that you can't begin to appreciate from the comfort of your couch, he continued. Good natured laughter is one thing. Heck, they laughed at themselves, but hey, cut them some slack. Unless you're there, you have no idea how different it is in the studio. Because here's also another thing that you gotta understand too, right? Imagine the amount of people around them, like surrounding them, because this is a professional studio with a lot of employees. There's probably, I don't know, like 20, 30, 40 people all around just staring at you, right? So if you screw up in front of like 40 people just looking at you, that's probably going to stress you out. And a lot of people don't understand this, but stress can really get people to do a lot of things that they normally would not do. He also suggested that while he may have fun with and tease players on occasion, things can and do go wrong. I feel for them and I try to salve the wounds on camera and off, Sajak said. So yeah, it was an oddly entertaining puzzle. It is okay to laugh at the situation, but have a little heart, the consummate host begged. Sajak then closed his rant with a word of warning. After all, you may be there one day and no one wants to be trending on Twitter. And yeah, feel free to give your thoughts about this whole thing. I understand why it's so frustrating, but it's kind of a similar situation where you might be watching like a boxing fight or like a UFC fight on the TV, and you could be like yelling at the TV and all that kind of stuff, like, "Oh, why didn't you kick that person in their head?" Or like, "Why didn't you like punch them here? Why didn't you dodge that? Like, how could you not see that punch coming towards your face as you are sitting on your couch or your dining room chair or whatever, eating pizza, you know, with like a beer belly, right? Like, who are we to judge other people in their specific situation doing these like live shows, right? It's going to be nuts. But it's just something to really think about. If you want to learn how to get out of debt, go to 40inbox.com to get out of debt, master your money so that you never really have to go on a TV show like this for some money.